Well, I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed.
Yeah, so if you're looking for boots for ice fishing, this is not the place to come. It's more for hunters right now. And I don't know if it'll change.
Yeah.
So, in Port Washington, there's a place called Sherpers. We're gonna check that out. If I remember right, last year they had baffins in there, so we're hoping that maybe they'll have a pair or two in there. So, yeah, not a good day for boots, and I'm not sure where to go around here. I mean, Fleet Farm, maybe Shooter Supply, but it's slim pickings, folks. I don't know what to tell you.
No.
Knockoffs. Here's the boot everyone's been looking for. We're at Sherpers in Port Washington, but there's also Sherpers in Milwaukee. So this style's a little different with the wrap. And
It feels like you're putting your foot inside a big old
pillow.
Now this is a 9 and it's a little snug, so it's got to be a woman's 9.
So
I would need a 10. There's a 10 right here.
And I don't see anything on sale here, but that's not to mean they won't put them on sale. This is probably the best selection of winter boots I've seen.
Yes, absolutely.
Today.
After everything we've looked at today.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, let's get this toe stuff out of here. They're not difficult to take off. Just slide on, slide off. There we go. That's the size.
It's a bulky boot.
It is, but it's not heavy.
But you got, yeah. So you snug it up with those Velcro straps, I believe.
You can.
And there you go.
Now, I do have a sensitive spot, and that's right here on the front of my tendon,
Yeah.
and it actually pinches me there, so I wouldn't
Oh,
be able
really?
to wear these.
Okay. And there's a different style behind you. That was like those clam ones that I have. We'll show
Right.
later.
And maybe you can see it buckling right here, so maybe it's just this pair.
Yeah, could be.
It's got this weird buckle, and that's right where it's hitting me and pinching and hurting.
Yeah.
Ouch, yeah, that's very painful.
But guess what? They have them here. Now here's a different type. Different lace up.
Yeah, that's a size 9. I can slip that one on too.
Here,
What
see
we
the
got.
difference.
This is much more comfortable for me. I would still really need a size
Bigger.
10. I could wear these, but there's no gap for air circulation. Although
Yeah.
it's such a thick padding, I don't know if I would need it.
Right.
They're bulky, but they weigh nothing. They're light as air,
They look heavy, but
but they're not.
yeah.
And honestly, I don't think I'd even have to cinch these up to wear them out on the ice.
That's interesting.
They're not slipping at all. That is very interesting. Good traction.
Yeah. Are they as tall as the other ones?
No, these are a little bit
Shorter.
shorter, which also makes them more comfortable. And I think this liner is removable in here. It is. I'm not going to pull it out right now because I would have a hard time getting it back in.
Yep.
But you can see this padded liner inside.
Yep.
And it's got the heat coating on it. So these are going to be warm out there on the ice.
Yeah. And what are these running? They're running 179-ish.
Was that from here?
Yeah. Yeah, they've got choice here. There's no doubt about it. They got sorrels, which has always been known. Whatever. So I would check out Sherpers. This is the best I've seen so far today. About possibilities. I mean, they got these guys and Rockies. That's always a good one. They're expensive.
I don't know how waterproof they're going to be, though.
No. I mean, you got some forgiveness here up to that point, but
Right, but my first pair of boots were like this, and that
Yeah.
first time I wore them on the ice, we were walking through a foot of ice, and my
Yeah.
foot was soaked. Even though they were waterproof boots.
yeah. And then there's some other Someone's over here. What are these? These are a little cheaper, 49 bucks. I don't know if these are kids. Yeah.
Those are gonna be probably, yeah.
Yeah. But they got some similar.
Oh no, these
More
are bigger
for
sizes.
snow? For snow?
These are called Rangers. It's an 11.
Yeah.
This looks like my size. What are these? Ranger Women's Sparrow Boot. There's no support in the footbed. There's a lot of cushion in them, but my foot is slipping all around in here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you absolutely had to get on the ice and you didn't have anything more to spend on a boot,
Yeah. Not a bad deal.
yeah.
No, the other option you could do too is snowmobile boots.
Absolutely.
And that would be more on the places that sell snowmobile that would carry that stuff. I know Ken's in Kakana has a huge selection of stuff. And that may be another place to go check out. And he normally has like stuff from last year, so the price point on that stuff is really a lot better than if you get current boots and jackets.
Always try and find a previous season.
Yeah, I mean the stuff doesn't change other than the look. But. So here's a different Baffin, 149, called the Ice Field. Obviously, it tells me they're ice boots. And
They're not cutting, but this is a size 10 and it's small, so these do run smaller.
yeah,
I would need an 11 in these. Really, I'd need a 10 and a half.
yeah,
Lightweight, comfortable enough footbed. So, a lot of people swear by Baffins.
yeah. I've heard it too. I mean, you definitely have choice here.
Same removable liner. Again with the reflective coating for warmth.
Right. And they got the lacrosse right there that we saw at the other place. But oh, good. Okay, she found something here.
These are the Baffin Sage. They're a little bit shorter.
Probably easier to get on and off.
They're rated to 40 below. Super light. They weigh nothing.
Just a little taller than your red ones.
They have these handy little handles to pull up that lining, make sure it's
Oh, that's cool.
not tucked down in there. They run small. They run a full size small.
Yeah.
I need an 11 in these. Which I don't think they have. But
Order them online.
I would buy these. For
That's
the-
all you need.
For the weight, rated to 40 below.
You don't have all the bulk.
Right.
And you got the new bibs now.
They've got good traction on the bottom.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with those.
My cleats would stick to these. Once again, let's see if this is fully removable. Yes, it's Velcroed in, so it's
Yeah.
not going anywhere.
Right.
And that's a good heavy Velcro.
Yeah.
So if they get wet, you can pull them out and dry them overnight.
Right.
I'd have to unlace this to pull them out, but you can pull them out. These are the most comfortable boot I've tried on today.
Amazing. What's the price on these guys?
$139.
$139. Wow. I'll get a better look at it. Baffin Sage. So I think that's the winner today. Of all the looking. Okay, here you go. Go for it. Found them.
All right, so you know, you ask online on Facebook and stuff, and a lot of guys will say Mickey Mouse boots, Mickey Mouse boots, Mickey Mouse boots, which are
Fine.
fine. They're a military boot. Kim and I both were in the service. We wore them, but I'll have to tell you, I, as a woman in this day and age, they are so heavy.
Yeah.
This is heavier than any boot I have ever worn.
They are heavy. And your
Now-
feet sweat in them, I can tell you that.
Yeah. And
They're
they
warm.
have versions that are lace. They have versions that aren't lace. These are lace. They're not as warm as the ones that don't lace. But they're absolutely completely waterproof. Although once they start to break down, you can't repair them.
Right. And they will rip.
They will rip. You hit that auger blade or something, you're going to get a hole. And your feet sweat. So
Yeah.
once your feet sweat and get wet, to
Yeah,
me, my
it
feet
just-
would be more cold.
Yeah.
So I will never buy these, but I'll tell you, some guys swear by them.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, when you're 20 wearing them and walking around in them all day, it's way different than when
Yeah.
you're older.
If you want a good workout, sure.
How much are those? Those are free.
Well, everybody had such a great reaction to the video that we did with the ice suits and coats.
Yeah.
And everybody's been asking a lot of questions about footwear on the ice. So we thought, I'm kind of looking for a pair myself. And we thought, why not just make a video once again? See if we can help people out.
Right. There's no ice. There was really no fishing to be had this weekend. We tried, but
Yeah, we tried
out,
Fort
but-
Washington a little bit. Nothing was
Right.
biting. So we decided to go in another direction.
yeah. So we ended up hitting some local stores in central Wisconsin-ish area. Richfield, Cabelas, Sherpers in Port Washington, which they do have a Milwaukee store, maybe a couple of them, I think. And then we hit Midwest Shooter Supply, which is about 4 miles down the road from where I'm at.
Right.
Hunting gun store, but they do have fishing things and clothing, and actually quite a few boots to choose from. So
They did, with some limited sizes in
Yes.
some of the boots, but they had the boots.
yeah, probably not the prettiest place to go boot shopping, but look for function, you're gonna find it there.
That's right.
Yeah. So they had a room full of boots, and then they had some clearance stuff, which was good, plus another 20% discount on all the boots. So there's some deals to be there if you find something that works for you.
Right. And, you know, I wear the most common women's shoe size, a 9 to a 9.5. And most of these boots, I had to go up to a 10 and an 11 in some cases to get the fit to be right.
Right. And then some places they didn't have the sizes. So,
Exactly.
so you know, it's common when you shop.
Right.
So,
So my thoughts on boots
Yeah.
throughout the day. Okay, I do have a pair of Lady Hawks with 2,000 grams of insulation in them that are warm and they're comfortable, they're waterproof, and they're actually great. But I'm looking for another pair because the Lady Hawks are a little heavy. And even though they keep my feet warm, I have found that, you know, just with the clothing,
right,
you have to think about the way you're going to be fishing.
right.
And we move a lot on the ice and we're running around and they're kind of heavy. So I'm looking for something that might be a little bit lighter weight,
Okay,
that's just as warm,
okay.
that I can be more mobile in. I mean, those boots, if somebody's going to sit in a shack all day or they're going to sit on a bucket or a chair somewhere, they're perfect because they're
Yeah.
warm.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to it at the end of the day, there were a couple boots that would probably fit my needs.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now, we went to Cabelas in Richfield. Don't waste your time. There's pretty boots
Nothing.
there, and there's really nothing for this application for ice fishing. Hunting, yes, but you're going to lack the waterproofness.
Right. Most of their boots were fashion boots,
Yeah.
really, when
Yeah.
it comes down to it.
So I don't waste your time. I'd say shop online if you know what you want. That could be a potential thing. But unless there's another Cabelas in the state, it might be better there. But the one in Richfield, not so much.
They're going to not, in Green Bay, they don't have them either,
Yeah,
which
I
is
was-
one of the reasons we went out and
I
looked.
was really surprised. Really surprised.
So amazingly enough, Sherpers actually had one of the best selections
Yes.
of baffins.
Yeah.
We didn't find baffins anywhere else.
No, and a lot of people were asking about baffins, and if you want to touch and feel them, go to Sherpers. They have them because they're all different. They got the real cloddy, real
Yeah.
like abominable snowman type boots to the more functional, smaller, slimmer ones. But you get to see them all and try them.
Right, 4 or 5 different styles,
Yeah.
men's version, women's version. It was great because there is a pair of baffins that I really liked, but And I almost bought them online, but then I thought my other needs for a boot, springtime, wading in the water. And if I can find one boot that's going to fill two purposes,
right,
I think that's a better fit for my needs right now. And so then I have to go back to the Mucks or the Lacrosse, because in both cases, they're warm, they're waterproof, they're flexible, and they fit pretty well. Now, I have to try on each style again because a couple versions didn't have any support in the arch.
Right.
A couple versions did.
Yep.
And if I'm standing in them all day, I absolutely need something with arch support.
Yeah. I got a pair, and the reason I got them was because I've got horses, and there was one spring I couldn't even get out by them because I'd go in there in my normal shoes and my boots and the mud and the gook and all that. Because we had a very rainy spring, the shoes get sucked off, so I ended up going with something taller. And I have Lacrosses, and they've been great. And the thing I needed for them, I didn't want to have a pair of tall rubber boots that weren't flexible that gave me blisters, and these didn't. I'm able to walk in them. I've even taken the dogs out hiking in the kettle moraine with these boots on because I have to have multifunctions. So think about that. You know, you kind of go, oh, I don't need these boots, but there are multifunctions. You know, the way this fall's been, it's been pretty mucky out there. And I've got the same situation now here in November, going out in that mucky dirt with water pockets standing in there for where the horses were.
Right.
And for me to get in there, those are the boots I wear because I can hose them off when I'm done. They're clean. They clean up really easy.
Right.
And I also can use them in spring when you get maybe, if you get a nice sunny day on the ice, you'll get an inch of ice standing water. I know when we went out to Pike Lake last year, we build those holes and there were 3 inches of water.
That was a day.
Yeah, and I wish I had those boots on because you could slosh through that stuff pretty easily and not have the bulk.
Right. And I wore my Lady Hawks out there that day because everything was so deep and my feet didn't get wet. But man, it was tough trekking through that 6 inches to 12 inches of standing snow and water on the ice.
Snow, it was horrible.
Yeah.
But again, you know, it's up to your financial. I would suggest get the one that's going to kind of in the middle for your needs and then build off that from year to year. The other great way to get those boots, wait till we move in the spring. These boots come on sale.
Right.
And you know, just keep your eyes open every time you go to Fleet Farm or wherever, you know, kind of check the boot rack and see what they throw in their clearance.
Well, and watch for things that are being resold. My Lady Hawks, I might decide to sell them off because if I have another pair that fits my needs perfectly, I don't need a second pair.
Yeah.
And they're really great boots. And so when I sell them, somebody's going to get a bargain because they were lightly used. There's nothing wrong with them. No cuts, no rips, nothing.
Yeah.
So there are options and ways to get them a little bit less expensive.
Yeah. The other thing too is West Bend Fleet Farm just opened. It's a huge store. They have a lot of inventory, so they're not really picked over yet, but that change this coming weekend.
And we did see a pair of those Camex in the men's department that were under $100 that were warm enough. They would be fine for most people on the ice, especially if you're not out there running from hole to hole, trying to videotape. If you're just fishing, they're probably perfect.
Yeah, and you could wear them all year round, really.
Right, absolutely.
I know a lot of the farmers here have them, and I think they were like $50-$60. I mean, they were pretty cheap, and they were nice looking boots.
Yeah, and you know, if you're wearing them for every day and you're only wearing them on the ice once in a while, you put a toe warmer in to keep your foot, or a whole foot warmer. Yeah. Keep your foot warm, and then you don't have to invest in a second pair of boots.
Yeah. The other thing people do, and again, is carrying junk out there on the ice, is people put mats, like a barrier between the ice and your boot. Get an old rubber mat, like a door mat. You can pick them up at Walmart, $4 or $5 with rubber backing.
Those little padded mats work great.
Yeah, throw that underneath your feet if you're sitting in one area, and that kind of is a barrier to get that cold off there. So.
Right.
Just some ideas. I know the pain that you're going through if this is the first boot you have, but I love boots. I probably got more boots than I need to have. But
you do.
But I've gone from snowmobiling to horses, you know, and farm, and I was in the military, so that was a whole different story. You'll see it in this video. Obviously, you saw the Mickey Mouse boots. That's
right. Now we did not talk about the boots that Clam makes, which are really warm and comfortable. You have a pair.
I have one pair, but I think I'm going to do a video down the road of all the boots I have and why I have them. And because these videos are getting a bit long. So.
Right, but if you're in the club, check out those Clam boots.
Yes.
Because if you're just using them for ice fishing, they're going to suit your needs.
Yeah, and you know, get the discount.
Right.
Good luck.